That's not Pat's nose at all.
We're having nose job.
We're gonna do Snapchat filters
Yeah.
over the whole thing.
Yeah.
You're gonna have cat ears.
Yeah.
The whole thing. That's that's the way things are done now. So it's just. I have a specific story I want you to tell, because I remember you told the story and I love it. The story of when you broke your arm, and then that was the same broken arm that you had when you met Mom.
Yeah,
right? If I
okay,
remember it
yeah.
right. But the way that the story went is pretty hilarious for breaking arms, I guess.
Well, I don't remember if it's the same way I told it, but I can tell you the story of the broken arm for sure. So everybody here now knows that we grew up on a farm, and that we had farm stuff you do, right? So in this particular day, we're on the west side of Mount Vernon here, and my dad's running the corn picker out there in the big combine thing, and he's down the rows good, and Danny was helping me. So this works is you have a big auger that runs up to the grain bin. You pull the truck up and you tip up the truck and all the stuff comes out, and so you got it running. So in this case, we're just getting out a big load, and this thing's connected to a tractor with a spinning shaft that runs the auger. And in this case, I reached across to the shaft to open the tailgate of the truck, and when I did, I got too close, and these spinning shaft had a little nut stuck up on the side of it, and it caught my clothing and reached right under here in my clothes. And I had the good fortune to wear old clothes that day, and so it ripped the stuff off of me and pulled my clothes off basically from the waist up, and stripped all the clothes off at the top of my body, and had one piece hanging, kind of hanging out here, and the rest of it was spinning around the shaft. And, I didn't feel a thing. I mean, first, in 1 second I was here, and the second I'm underneath the thing, and it's spinning, and I've fortunately still had an arm on. All my limbs were still on. And Danny was there, witnessing the whole thing. And I looked over, and he's just jumping up and down, he was freaked, and so I'm saying, so I yell, and the equipment's still running. I said, go get Dad. And he, okay. I said, no. Shut the equipment off first. Shut it off first, And so he came in and shut the tractor off and assessed the damage to some extent and saw that I was still there, but I could see that this arm was a little bit longer than the other one. And so it pulled out a joint, and so he grabbed me and he got me in the pickup. And so the shortest way to the combine was across the rows. Not the recommended go when you got an arm that's pulled out, Boom, 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 and he's driving across this. No, stop the other way. Go the long way, So Brent follows down the rows and goes down and catches him and stops him and comes out and So obviously something is wrong here, because it was soft here, so it just had pulled it out of the socket. So they get me in the pickup and take me over to Dr. Vogel, and they look. Yeah, he pulled out a joint. We can fix that. So they take me back in the waiting room, and Dr. Vogel said, "We'll take care of this." So he said, "Ed, so you grab him around the chest here, and we'll put it back in." So Dad gets him around, holds me around here, and the other guy gets the doctor and cranks it, I get it. So he gets one hand this and the other like a crank, and is going to put it in, Well, now it definitely hurts, He's like about ready to pass out. And he tries 2 or 3 times, and finally he says, "Yeah, I don't think we're going to get it back in." So we're going to go to the hospital. I said,
Please.
"How about giving me some for pain, So I finally got to the hospital, and they finally got me some pain medication. And so I don't remember that much after that once they gave me a shot of whatever they gave me. And the next thing I wake up, and I've got this full body cast on, sitting up here like this, wrapped around my body, and it's like, really, what just happened here? And so the story goes that there was a broken bone. I really don't think that's what the story was. I think that's just what I think it was at the time. I don't think it broke anything. I think what happens, it pulled it seriously enough out of location that it had to be held and stretched back and everything had to heal. And if there was any broken bone, then okay. But it was, they said, yeah, like this little bone broke off your bone that holds your muscle on. Yeah, probably not. It's probably, I don't know exactly what happened. In any event, after 4 weeks, they finally took the cast off and I started resuming normal activity. I remember the first thing after finally getting the cast off, going to, I think we're playing dodgeball in the gym. So that's going to be a great idea. Give it a big rip. It's like, oh shit, wrong, you know. Don't do that again, because like the first time out throwing after something like that, you know, it's like, it just hurt like the devil. It was coming off. In that period of time, though, you know, I made good use of that cast. I got some pretty good dates after that. Played it for what it was worth. Found my bride. Didn't know it at the time, but, you know, raised enough curiosity to say, who the hell's that, you know? But, yeah, so the outcome of that was eventually you had enough curiosity to follow up on it, and the rest is history. But the cast, you never know how instrumental something like's going to be, you know. Oh God, I hated that thing though. It hurt like it itched like crazy, you know. And it wrapped around you, everything in bed, like, oh, okay.
It stayed like that in that position for 4 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
How much farm work did Edsel make you do while you were
I think I got off the hook most of the time. Yeah, I probably had to drive trucks some or something, you know. But
shifting might have been difficult.
yeah, that's right, because they were all those three, you know, on the column shifters that were very popular at the time. So I probably got off of that too. Yeah, that's crazy stuff. I mean, that could have killed me for sure.
Sounds like
Clearly
the
could have killed me.
Kind of saved
Yeah.
you a little.
What's that?
Sounds like the T-shirt kind of saved you a little, because you know.
Oh, the clothing definitely saved my
Yeah,
life.
yeah,
If I had new
yeah.
stuff on, it would just whip me to a pulp until
Yeah.
it stopped, you know.
Would it have been strong enough to pick you up as a body
Oh, yeah.
and twist you around? Oh my.
Yeah, it could have whipped and there wasn't anything left to whip on.
Oh my. How old were you?
17? Yeah, I believe 17. Had one other close call. Farming is a dangerous activity. And this was after we were married and I was helping on the farm. And one of the farms down by GE had a little patch of land that we'd take care of. And so pull it behind the tractor and then a disc. And then behind that we had a big long pipe we'd drag along to kind of drop down all the stuff that was not smoothed off. This would take care of. And so I knew that we had this wide drag pulling along behind there, and it was time to come out of the field. We had to cross railroad tracks, and so when I came out, I unhooked one end so it'd be behind us instead of in the line of fire going down the highway. It just had a short distance to go. And when I came back out of the highway across those railroad tracks, the end that was sticking out on the chain caught on the disc and acted as a catapult and launched itself up over the top of the disc, headed right at me. And I just saw it coming out of the corner of my eye and ducked my head, and it whacked me across the back, you know, and the back of the disc on the tractor. And so when it landed on me, it didn't hit my head, but it hit me back here. And I was able to push it off, and, you know, it was like, wow. And so Dr. Hirsch took me to the doctor that time, too, to see if I really had any serious damages. And of course, in a very scientific way, said, no, it's okay.
Well, that's scary though.
Yeah.
I never heard that story.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. And this is the stupid stuff you do. These are how farming accidents are so prominent in that industry. It's dangerous stuff. And it happens unexpectedly. Like, so yeah, I got this safe. Get it out so it's not in the highway. Pull it out. Yeah, what up with those railroad tracks, And of course, I was probably driving too fast in the tractor, jumping over these things. And I just kind of remember doing this because something caught my eye, and I just went down like that, and it came across the back of my head up here, and it struck my head some, but not. I don't know if it raised a lump or not. It might have, but it was mostly my back that took the hit. So don't raise up your cowboys to be farmers. Something like that.
Here's a tip for you.
Like there's a song in there somewhere.
Yeah, dangerous stuff. It's gotten a lot better with the equipment stuff, things like the way, like things that Brent's practices and all that, but still, it's just dangerous. Lots of ways to make fatal mistakes. Times that we would run through the barns and just take for granted play stuff that we did that was normal. Yeah, jumping on a barn lift, no big deal. Expected behavior at that time.
That also includes the tormenting of your brothers in the barn in various ways, I seem to recall.
Yeah, I've since got a fair amount of shame out of that for myself. Yeah, wasn't a very nice brother for a lot of that time. Being the oldest, and I don't know, something about it, I did not accept that willingly. So I have no good explanation for that. But we did okay, but I did use my brothers as fodder for abuse.
I think that's normal.
Yeah. Yeah, when we had the rope with his tied to his, we didn't put it on his neck, it was around his feet.
Sounds so normal.
But it's really not that
It
bad.
wasn't that bad. Yeah, it was his feet we used. Yeah. And once his feet were off the ground, it was just fun at that point.
Probably is good for his back to get all stretched
Yeah, he
out.
was all stretched. Yeah. 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 I don't think we left him that long.
Were they ever able to get back at you, or?
I don't remember that.
That's water under the
I-
bridge.
Yeah, I think we maintained the upper hand on that. Yeah, Brent was the one that scared me. He was the daredevil at the time, and he was, I don't know, he was probably 2 years old or less, and had that farm up the hill, and I remember one time we went up through there, and I think at that time, family had an old family, old Buick, and it wouldn't make it all the way up the hill, and they ran off the side of the lane. But it was snow covered and good for sledding, as long as you didn't hit the car. Which Brent did. He ran right into the slam of the steel hard bumper, and here he came, and they couldn't quite get him stopped, and he ran right into the thing with his head into the, And so, everybody's pretty scared that he was concussed, and wait, he's asleep, don't let him sleep, And finally, I think they went to the doctor, and once again determined, yeah, he's all right, something like that.
Well, he's the same one that jumped off the stairs in the house and went through the wall right at the end of it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Broke the drywall.
I remember the time he scared me the most was older. We had the motorcycles, and I looked at him. He's coming down through that field on that motorcycle, running as fast as it'll go, and we had and So I should have had more confidence in, but I just see this coming. Going, holy shit, he's going to cut his head off, because we had a pass-through gate that had a wire tied across the top of it to keep it all tight, you know. But he's going 30 miles an hour, and you can't do this, you know. And then he hits down, like slides up there, and just like mocking you, you know. It's like, oh God. So I guess I have a little compassion, you know.
I don't want to see my brother decapitated.
Yeah. I remember looking at the thing, he's gonna die. It's not gonna go good, you know. And he was just mocking us at that point, you know. Adventures on motorcycles.